Hi, welcome back to my channel. Petite Persian perspective. I'm 5 feet tall, so I'm allowed to call myself petite. And I'm going to say I'm 5 feet tall, and we're not going to measure me, okay? We're just not going to do it. Go ahead and hit like, subscribe, share. All the things I hear other YouTubers do. Oh my gosh, I'm such a novice and a newbie, and I'm okay with that. This is how I cope with a lot of things. Today I was going to talk about my funny experience. Well, it's funny, but it's concerning about a postal worker. Anyway, I was going to share that because it's kind of comical. But you know, I was thinking and I decided that I was going to share something more personal and more real. And I will likely share that later because I go to the post office all the time because I help run an eBay store. So I'm constantly at the post office, at least once a day, usually twice. Just depends on what's selling and what's going on. So I'm going to share something else. And it's going to be about forgiveness. But forgiveness doesn't mean that you let somebody walk all over you. And forgiveness doesn't mean that you let somebody get away with something against you. I'm going to go into some detail here, but not a significant amount. I've decided to file a defamation suit against a person who was attempting to get me fired last year and continued all the way into February, maybe early March, and was also cyberbullying me this year. I don't believe she cyberbullied me last year. It's very extensive as to why, but the defamation of character comes from the malicious lies that she told my employer at the time to try to get me fired. I was having panic attacks at work, and I was about to walk out because she just was relentless and wouldn't stop. Here's where she's stupid. She sent text to my boss at the time. I have pages and pages and pages of it. So that happened, and then, COVID hit in March. My mom passed away in April, so it's just been too much. But here's the most egregious lie she told, excuse my language, excuse my mispronunciation. Here's the most egregious lie she told that I recall off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and look at all the papers, which I will have to do before I file a lawsuit. But she said when my grandson passed away 2 years ago on Thursday, he was 7.5 months old, and I set up a GoFundMe account for my daughter because she wasn't able to work she lost her son at 7.5 months old. She lied to my boss at the time, told my boss that I set that up and I took all the money for myself. I didn't take 1 cent of the money. Every single penny went to my daughter. My daughter needed it to survive. She wasn't able to work. She has a daughter herself. Lakin was almost 5 whenever this happened, and we lost my grandson. So yeah, that is heinous, and you mention it in any kind of form or fashion regarding my grandson, those are fighting words. I am choosing to work on forgiving her. It's going to be a work in process. However, I'm not going to drop it, and here's why. When you pray about something and you know in your spirit that somebody needs to be held accountable for their actions, she needs to be held accountable. The torment that she put me and my daughter through, there's something else she did to my daughter. It was relentless, and it was disgusting, quite honestly. And the length she was going to, and the defamatory attacks that she was making up about me to try to get me fired, saying I was a violent person as well. And I was taking care of my boss's adult son who has pretty significant autism. Nonverbal. I've never, ever once hurt anybody, let alone a child or a special needs person. I'm a speech language pathologist. That's not something I would ever do. I've never been charged with a crime. Traffic tickets, that's the worst that's ever. I've never been under arrest. Anything, but she's making me seem like I am Charles Manson or Ted Bundy. I don't know. Crazy. Again, all of it in text. So here's my lesson for you today. And it's really hard right now because in 2 days, it's the anniversary of Caden's passing. But I've been a wimp for a very long time. I've let people walk all over me. being a child abuse victim, sexual abuse victim from my childhood, all of it, kind of sets you up for that. You know what I mean? You're groomed for that. You're groomed for abuse. You're groomed for abuse. I was groomed for abuse from birth. My adoptive family. My birth mom was amazing. That's who passed away. So yeah, I was groomed for it. And now that I am almost 50 next year, I'm just now standing up for myself. Doesn't mean I'm going to hate her. Doesn't mean I'm going to slander her. Doesn't mean I'm going to repay her in the same way that I'm going to contact her employer or her business associates or her family the way she has mine. But she contacted a business associate as recently as last month too. Anyway, probably shouldn't have done that. I apologize. That's not very nice, is it? But you've got to be unstable to go and contact my business associate now and just try to talk so much mad crap about me. It's disturbing. She needs prayer. I'll work on that too. But she needs to be told in a court of law that her actions are inappropriate and inexcusable. There's nothing, to lie and attempt to get someone fired, that is just, there's no excuse for that. None. She works in a medical office and was talking about she shouldn't be, I don't know. Maybe she can handle confidential information and be appropriate, but she was lying about mine. There's so much. Okay, sorry to go on and on about that. So anyway, that's what I just wanted to tell you, to forgive, but forgiving doesn't mean that you're a doormat. Forgiving doesn't mean that you allow people to just continue to abuse you. And it doesn't mean that they don't need to be held accountable for their actions. It's time she's held accountable for her actions. She's done this before to someone else, I've been told previously. And she just happened to catch me at a time. I've changed since my mom passed away. I've been going through a lot of process through that, and I'm not going to take anyone's crap. And you're not going to get to do this to me anymore. So stand up for yourself, believe in yourself, forgive, but forgive does not mean forget, and it sure as heck doesn't mean they get to just do it without any kind of consequences. There are consequences to our actions. There are consequences to my actions. If I don't pay my mortgage, I could lose my house. You want to do something defamatory to somebody, it could cost you money, especially when you attempt to get them fired. So that's it. Like I said, petite Persian perspective. This is mine. Have a blessed night. Hopefully I get to tell you about the post office story later this week. That's more lighthearted. So blessings. Bye, everybody.